All right, we can get started, and then if anyone comes in, they can join the call whenever and jump right into wherever we're at. But hi, this is the Get to Know Big Interview event. So I'm going to be going over obviously big interview and then also some insights into the virtual interviewing process. But to start off, I'll first introduce myself. So my name is Emma. I am a peer advisor at the Career Center. And I'm a senior graduating this May. And my major is environmental studies with a minor in international studies. And on campus, I'm involved with the Climate Reality chapter here at AU, as well as the Sustainable Ocean Alliance. And I also included my current TV obsession, which is Only Murders in the Building, which is a great new Hulu show, would definitely recommend. So next, I'm going to go over what peer advisors do, because I mentioned that I'm a peer advisor at the Career Center. So as a peer advisor, our main mission is to help undergraduate students with career development in the job and internship search. And we do this through a few different ways. So there's 5 of us here in the Career Center who are peer advisors, and we do a few different things around campus. And one of those is classroom presentations. So you might have seen us in one of your classes, but we do 10 to 15-minute presentations at the beginning or end of classes that cover Career Center services and resources. And these are really helpful, and they're set up by professors who want us to come in and explain about the resources and services we offer. We also have drop-in hours as peer advisors. So these are really like 20-minute sessions where you can come in either in person or on Zoom when we have them. And you can ask us questions or for help with anything relating to cover letters, resumes, Handshake, LinkedIn, and the job and internship search. So we have those drop-in hours in person and on Zoom Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And we also have Zoom only virtual hours Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 5 to 8 p.m. and Fridays 1 to 5 p.m. And if for any reason you can't make any of these times as well, I will share our email at the end of the presentation. And you can also send us an email with any questions you might have regarding resumes and cover letters. And lastly, the last way that we engage with undergraduate students as peer advisors is through workshops. So workshops are usually for campus clubs and organizations on topics that are covered during drop-in hours. So this can include, general resume and cover letter formatting, Handshake, anything that you might want as a club and organization. And I will also give our peer advisor Instagram at the end of the presentation. And in the link in our bio, there is a link to register or request a workshop. So you can do it that way, or you can send us an email as well. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about what Big Interview is. So Big Interview is a platform where you can learn and practice your interview skills. So it allows you to practice common interview questions, record yourself answering those, and also receive immediate feedback with their new AI feature. And I will talk about all of these things a little more in detail as we get into the presentation. But that's just a quick overview of what Big Interview is. So next, I'll just touch on how to access Big Interview. All right, so the way you're going to access Big Interview is to first log into your Handshake account. So you log into your Handshake account with your AU credentials, so the same email and password that you use for your school email account. And you will log into Handshake that way. And then I have my screen up here so you can see what it looks like when you log in. And then you're going to click on Career Center, and that is up in the top right corner. And when you do that, you're going to see this screen that's currently being shared. And from here, you're going to want to click on Resources. And then after you click on Resources, a bunch of them will pop up, and you're going to scroll and find Big Interview. And you can click on that. And then you're going to scroll to how to create a Big Interview account. And in that section, within the Big Interview tab, you're going to see a link that you can click, and you're also going to see an AU access code, because Big Interview services are free for all AU students if you just log in and register using that access code that we have. All right, so once you register and you log in with the AU access code, this is what your screen will look like once you log in. So at the top, you can see that you can navigate between interview practice opportunities, interview learning through lessons and videos. And you can also save videos of yourself giving a practice interview. And if you click on My Videos, you'll be able to view those and watch yourself answer some questions. So for interview practice, there are general industry-based questions, and there's also competency-based questions, and there's interviewers who have all sorts of different style ranges from standard to high. So obviously the high range is going to be more difficult questions, and the standard will be more entry-level beginner questions. So you can also use the fast track to go through or to work through the most important topics to get you prepared for an interview. Or you can go right to the top 10 questions to go right into practicing some of the most used interview questions. So the fast track and the top 10 questions, which you can see on this screen. And those are good ones for if you don't necessarily have a lot of time to prepare for an interview, but you want to get some practice and do a little research into what kinds of questions might be asked. Those are really good resources and tools for when you need more quick practice. So next, I'm going to be talking about how to use Big Interview to prepare for a virtual interview. So you can use, again, all of those resources through Big Interview that I just talked about, but I'll talk about a few more that you can use, including the AI feedback feature. All right, so if you keep scrolling when you log into Big Interview, still on your dashboard, you're going to see this set of 3 different clickable options: the question library, the AI feedback tool, and the answer builder. So all are really great resources. And the build your perfect answer, especially because you can go through and build your answers to common practice questions, which is also really nice because you can add in what you have at the time and then take a little time away from it, maybe think about the question a little bit and come back and add in more, which is really great. So you can also use the answer builder, also uses the STAR method to build interview stories for elevator pitches, talking about your weaknesses, and also like more behavioral questions. So I can talk a little bit about the STAR interview method, since that is what the answer building feature uses. So the STAR interview method, it stands for situation, task, action, and result. So this is just a really great way to kind of condense your thoughts, especially when it's an interview question that asks you to use previous experiences to answer it. So the S obviously stands for situation. So that is where you kind of set the scene with some background information. So a recent challenging situation that you found yourself in, that's applicable to the question. Then you can start talking about T, or the task. and you can give some background about what you were required to achieve and what task you were given. And then the A stands for action or approach. So this is the time where you would talk about what actions you actually took, if there were any alternatives, if they're relevant, and also why you chose the action that you did or the approach that you did. And then finally, you're going to want to get into your result. And this basically means, what was the outcome? What did you learn from whatever task you were given? And are you still using the lessons that you learned? And this is also, I have up top just a helpful hint. If you get stuck, you can also reach out to the Big Interview online support staff. So if I go back real quick, you can see that in the bottom right-hand corner of the screenshot, there's a little chat icon. So if you click on that, you can chat with support staff and ask questions that you might have about how Big Interview works. Okay, sorry, it's a little delayed, the clicks. So next, I'll just talk a little bit about the AI feedback feature on Big Interview. So like it says there, AI can analyze technical components of your answers to interview questions, but not the content. So this is a list of what the AI feature actually can analyze. So when you're answering questions on Big Interview, by clicking on the AI feedback that I showed you a few slides back, you'll get automated AI results or AI feedback. And it analyzes the pace of speech and an counter, so using filler words, and also eye contact. It also measures pause counter and the use of powerful words, as well as lighting and vocabulary, the length and narrative tone that you're using, and also the authenticity and volume of the voice you're speaking at. So AI feedback is very helpful despite it not being able to analyze content. And some of these benefits include that you can practice answering both general and specified interview questions. You also gain confidence. By doing practice interviews, you're going to be gaining more confidence that you can then use when you're actually talking to someone in a real interview. It can also give you, again, technical areas on which you can improve. And the limitations include, like I said, that it can't analyze the content of what you're saying. And it also doesn't have the same human element that most interviews do when you're actually, interacting with someone in a conversation in an interview setting. So once you are finished with an AI interview, you will receive a rating from the Big Interview rating scale, gold, silver, or bronze. And those ratings basically depends on how much improvement is needed in important areas according to the AI Big Interview feedback. So a next step after you do this, if you've done a practice interview with the AI feature and you're wondering what's next when preparing for an interview, a few things you can do is record yourself and go back and listen to yourself, because you might be able to pick up on more content-based improvements that the AI feature can't. And again, you can do that in Big Interview. When you first log in on your dashboard, there's going to be a saved videos tab, and you can click on that and go back and watch yourself and see how you improve over time as well. Another thing you can do is you can also record it and then make a meeting with a career center advisor or a peer advisor. And we can go over your answers together and watch it through. And lastly, another great resource to utilize is doing a mock interview with a friend or a family member. And that way you have more of the human element that you don't have when practicing with an AI interview. So next, I'm just going to be going over quickly the virtual interview checklist. So this was a checklist compiled by Big Interview, and I think it's really useful just to have some steps as to what physical things you need to do to prepare for an interview. So virtual interviewing continues to grow. Even before COVID-19, most interviewing had virtual components, and around 60% of recruitment and hiring managers use video interviewing, according to software advice. And obviously that's continued to grow because of COVID, and a lot of employers are still utilizing virtual interviewing. So it's definitely important to know how it works and what you can do to prepare for it. And employers prefer virtual interviewing for a few different reasons, and it's also beneficial as an interviewee as well, for a few different reasons, including that it reduces for employers the number of candidates that don't show up, and it also eases scheduling burdens as an interviewee as well, because you don't have to worry about getting to an office or getting to a place you need to interview at. It also enables after-hour interviewing and allows for candidates to be interviewed who are, geographically separate from wherever the job may be based. And it also eliminates a lot of stressors of in-person interviewing for the candidate. So let's get into the checklist. So the first item on the checklist is knowing what the types of virtual interviewing are. So there's two big general buckets that interviewing can be in virtual interviewing, either live video interviews or asynchronous video interviews. So live interviews are often over Skype or Zoom, and you'll probably get a link or to join a call or a video call from the employer. And a helpful insight is also just to make sure that your account name is up to date and professional. So especially if you're using, a personal Skype account or something like that, just to make sure that your username is up to date and something you would want an employer to see. You can also, this is another good insight, but don't be afraid to ask the employer what software will be used if they don't tell you right away. Just so that way you can prepare properly and visit the official tool website and follow the instructions for downloading if you need to download whatever software it is. Again, another great resource is to utilize friends and family and practice calling someone else with the software if you can, to make sure that it works. So yeah, those are live video interviews, but there's also asynchronous video interviews. And the way this usually works is you will get a link and you have a set amount of time to answer each question over video. You usually have one or two tries before you have to submit your answer. And then once you submit your answers, you're all done. That was the interview. But this is another great way to make your interview stand out by really preparing for it. And we'll get into a few different ways you can do that with the technical setup. So step 2 is understanding the technical setup for a virtual interview, because there's surprisingly a lot that goes into having a good setup. So that's what we'll talk about next. And this is just a picture of what a good interview setup could possibly look like. And we'll go over a few components of what is in this picture. The first aspect of the technical setup for a virtual interview is your webcam. So there's a few different types of webcams that are out there. And when choosing, you have to consider the camera's functions and then also your personal preferences and budget. So the first kind of webcam is external. So external webcams usually have better resolution and are found on desktops, or you can buy them separately and attach them to your computer. Macs and other laptops usually have built-in cameras, which is the second kind of webcam. And according to big interview experts, MacBook cameras you can usually get away with. And experts also advise trying to stay away from phone and tablet cameras because those webcams usually tend to not have as high of a resolution. And you want to look good for your virtual interview. So that's why they advise staying away from those. Another aspect of choosing a webcam is also making sure that you have good webcam placement. So the most flattering angle in general for people is if the webcam is at your eye line or slightly above. So as you can see in the picture, this person has their webcam, their laptop stacked up on, you can use books or boxes. So that way the camera is at their eye line or above, which is the best for virtual interviewing. And then also the next aspect of the technical setup is lighting. So again, according to big interview experts, lighting is your best friend in a virtual interview. So they recommend either using 2 clip-on lights on either side of your computer that are at the same height, or if you're in a time crunch, they also recommend having the same effect by using lamps on either side of your webcam. And if you do have time to get clip-on lights, they recommend full spectrum bulbs because those usually make you look the best and have the best effect for virtual interviewing. But yeah, the lighting really helps, especially the lighting shown here too, you can see with this person's clips, but it helps reduce shadows and also just makes you look better on your webcam. The third part of the technical setup for a virtual interview is to consider headsets or how your audio will be working. So cheaper built-in speakers and computers will usually pick up more ambient noise and make your voice not come through as clearly. So depending on the situation, headsets may be something to look into. Again, another recommendation, I keep recommending it, but I really think it works, is like to practice a call if your interview is over Zoom or Skype, to practice a call with a friend and try to make some background noise and see what goes through. That way you have a good idea of whether or not you should consider another way to use your audio and get your audio for a virtual interview. And the fourth and final aspect of the virtual interview technical setup is your background. So typically a plain and neutral background is best. So that can look like a plain wall or a screen or like a bookshelf. And if you are like more interested in maybe a screen, if you don't have a blank wall, a good idea is to just put up a sheet behind you. That way you have a nice neutral background. And it's also recommended that you have at least 2 feet between yourself and whatever background you're using. That way you can just avoid shadows. So yeah, that's the technical setup aspect of virtual interviewing. So the next checkpoint on the checklist is the what to wear point. And there are a few simple guidelines that Big Interview recommends when it comes to what colors to wear and how to dress for a virtual interview. And this is right from a Big Interview article too. So these were part of their recommendations. Their guidelines include avoiding white, pure black, super bright colors, busy patterns, or anything like that. And instead, they recommend softer and solid colors. And Big Interview recommends the pinnacle of virtual interviewing attire to be a dark and deep blue. They also, in terms of what to wear and how you look, if you're wearing glasses, if you do have, glare-proof glasses, or just trying to, again, practice like with your webcam to see how much glare your glasses are picking up if you have to change anything, is also a really good idea if you are wearing glasses for a virtual interview. Also, just to look out for also shininess. Like, I know when I get super nervous, I do get more shiny. So just making sure that you can keep up to date with that and looking at that, and, you know, investing in maybe some wipes, some oil wipes to get you to look less shiny on camera, anything like that. But yeah, these are good visuals in terms of the darker, deeper non-black colors working really well when you're on camera. Oh, wait, hold on, I forgot one more, sorry. So the last step 4, and the step 4 is just to prepare for the virtual interview in terms of questions you may want to ask the interviewer, and also using Big Interview to practice your interview skills. And Big Interview is a great resource, even if you're preparing for an interview in person, but it's especially great when you're preparing for a virtual interview because it gives you experience talking to a webcam, and, you know, not being able to physically be with an interviewer and interacting in person. So you can use all of the features that I mentioned before, like the AI feedback, recording yourself, answer building, all of those resources through Big Interview. And that will really help you to brainstorm some answers beforehand, and also look over some commonly asked questions as well, so you feel more comfortable answering them. And lastly, when you are preparing for a virtual interview, just remember to breathe and relax. And especially if you've prepared, it's going to go well. So just remember to breathe and relax. You got this. Sorry, it's taking a little bit to load. All right. So that was the last thing that I was going to mention in terms of preparing for a virtual interview. But I also wanted to put it out there if anyone has any questions about what Big Interview is or how to prepare for a virtual interview. We also on our peer advisor Instagram have a poll going right now to ask questions about Big Interview. So you can go on there and enter in any questions you might have. So this workshop is recorded and will be posted to the Career Center YouTube. So if you go on YouTube and search American University Career Center, you'll be able to go and view this workshop at a later date. If you have an interview to prepare for, you can go back and watch it and get refreshed on everything that I mentioned with the virtual interview checklist and also how to use Big Interview. I also just wanted to say good luck with your next virtual interview. You totally got this. So lastly, I just wanted to say thank you for being here. And also, if you have any questions, please feel free to email the peer advisor email at aupeeradvisors@gmail.com, and also give us a follow on Instagram. So that way you can stay up to date with any other workshops, all the other workshops we have coming up this semester, and other opportunities through the Career Center. All right. So that is it for me. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And again, please feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all.